We can get everyone to come in and take a seat here. We'll get started. Running just a little bit behind. We are going to be on the radio here in a little bit, but apparently the Pirate game went into rain delay. Would like to welcome this evening to the 73rd George W. Stevenson Nicholas A. Palazzo Dapper Dan Awards dinner. I'd like to, if you would at this time, everyone to please rise for the invocation, be led by Mark Mangus, one of our top award winners.
Be an attitude of prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this event tonight, bringing everyone here safely so that we can celebrate this community and all that it means to the people around this area. Please be with everyone tonight. Keep them safe on their way home. Let them get ready for school tomorrow. And we once again, we bless this food, we bless this event, and in your holy name, amen.
Could I get you to remain standing as we pledge allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This past year, the Dapper Dan Club and the community lost one of the most dedicated persons ever, not only to the community, to all youth sports, all youth activities, all civic work, but especially the Dapper Dan Club, and that was Dick Stern. Tonight, it is my honor to dedicate the 73rd Dapper Dan dinner to Richard A. Dick Stern. Also, going forward, after this year, the dinner will be the George W. Stevenson, Nicholas A. Palazzo, and Richard A. Stern Memorial Dinner. Could I get you to please rise for a moment of silence for Dick? Thank you. I'd like to tonight to recognize the Dapper Dan Club Executive Board, which is also the combination of the dinner Executive Board, for all their hard work. And for that, I'd like to recognize Adam Stern and his the members of the Executive Board, if they would please stand. Adam, please. Lenny. And also, of course, he just gave the invocation, but we have Mark Mangus, who is a two-time top award winner, former quarterback, University of Maryland. Mark, thank you for the invocation, and thank you for coming. Of course, as you know, this dinner is held, and the benefactor is the League of Children's Place. And I'd like to recognize the Executive Director, Kathy Groudon, and Board Member Jerome Robinette. They're right here. Right here. Oh, there you are. Sorry. Also, I'd like to remind you, if you look in your program, the Dapper Dan Club is having their steak and shrimp feed on June the 3rd at the Allegan Shrine Picnic Grounds. There's information there to get your tickets. It is a wonderful dinner and a really good time. And now at this time, I'd like to bring up the president of the Dapper Dan, Lenny Webb.
Good evening, and thank you for coming. It's an honor to share this space with you tonight and honor our award winners for this evening. Somebody brought to me a ticket from a 1962 Dapper Dan dinner, and I was amazed that they would still have it, and they still had the program, and I just thought that was an amazing thing, but I began to think, how did we get here? How did we get 73 awards, banquets, and dinners? We stand on broad shoulders. We have a rich history here at the Dapper Dan, and I'm proud to be a part of it. So I'm going to try and put into words how that happens. I want you to imagine a dad, a mom, a newborn baby, and a grandparent. And they're all alone. And in the distance, they see a beast. So they all start running, except the baby's in tow in mom's arms. At some point, the grandparent says, you know what? I've lived a good life. I'm tired. I can't go on. The mom looks at the dad looks at the mom. They give each other an approving nod, and the mom shoves the baby in the grandparent's arms, and they take off running. 15 to 20 steps in, they look behind them, and there's a grandparent running with the baby. That's because when it's on us, when we only think about us, it's easy to quit. It's easy to give up. It's easy to give in. But when we have a purpose bigger than ourselves, we can keep going. That's how you get 73 dinners in. It's great to be back here. And I'd just like to leave you with this. Life is an echo. What you send out, you'll get back. What you give, you'll get. You send out love and light will return to you. You reap, you sow what you reap. So I want to thank you for being here. My challenge to you tonight is to reach out to somebody that you don't know and tell them, I'm glad you're here. To say to one of the award winners, I'm proud of you. That's how we get 73 dinners in. Honored to be here. Thank you for coming. God bless.
Thank you, Lenny, and thank you so much for your service as president. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a high honor and privilege for the 25th time, after 25 years, to introduce you the voice of the Dapper Dan from WCBC Radio, Paul Mullen.
Thank you, everybody, and good evening. It's great to be back here again. It's interesting that Lenny mentioned 1962 as a program and a ticket that was presented here this evening. My dad brought me to my first Dapper Dan dinner when I was 2 years old in 1962. It happened before my birthday that year, so I was almost 3. But I still remember what I did that night. Dad brought me to the dinner to meet Bob Prince, the voice of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and also Al Abrams, who did the Pittsburgh Dapper Dan dinner initially, and Dick Grote. And the reason he did that was that when I was a little boy, he taught me the Pittsburgh Pirates starting lineup. So he brought me here to do that for Bob Prince, Dick Grote, and Al Abrams. And here we are, 60 years ago that happened, and we're here again. And I'm glad you're all here too, because this is the best of the community. There are going to be remembrances of Dick Stern tonight. I was talking to Adam before the banquet. I'm still looking back in that right corner, looking for Dick to either nod his head or give me a cut sign saying, you're going too long, pal. But Dick was a great guy, and the great thing about Dick Stern was that he had a sense of history. He told me once, he goes, you know why I do this? And I said, well, you're committed to your community. He goes, yeah, but I'm committed to the older guys too. He goes, I know they put in their time, and I like to see them be able to continue, so I'll take a little bit more on. And if there's anything about Dapper Dan that spoke for Dick Stern, those were the words. And we will continue on in Dick's memory and try to have a real good time, as we always did when we were in his company. it's been a long 2 years. Last year, we did not have a dinner and did not have awards because of COVID. But I had an interesting year. When I was a young boy at this dinner, I looked up to all the athletes and said, boy, it'd be great to be at a championship event. And daggone it, it happened last year. I've been associated with Garrett College in their basketball program forever, almost. And their coach, Dennis Gibson at the time, called me up and said, we're going to the national tournament and we'd like you to come out. I said, okay, yeah, I'll be there. And so I go out and I said, where am I going to stay? He goes, well, the assistant coaches have a rollaway bed in the room. You can sleep on that. And I'm going, okay, that's fine. Cheap. That's all I need. And then I started thinking, what else could I do? And I gave myself the title of Director of Basketball Karma and Curse Avoidance, which mainly means at a tournament that you go around quoting Gene Hackman from Hoosiers saying, we do not talk about the next step in the tournament until we get past the one that we're at now. So that's what I did. And we made it to the Final Four. And as it was in Hoosiers, we were the smallest team ever to make it to the Final Four in the NJCAA history. And then I got we were trying to find gymnasiums to practice at. And somebody said, well, you could go to the Hoosier gym over in Indiana. And I said, okay, there's Indiana, there's got to be Hoosier gyms everywhere. It was the Hoosier gym, the one in the movie. I called up, tried to make arrangements. They were shut down because of COVID. Anyhow, so we move on and we get to the Final Four, and I did not take a couple of things into account, and I failed in my role as Director of Curse Avoidance. Dennis gave me a shirt from the coaching shirt he tossed to me before the Final Four. Not that I sat on the bench. I was supposed to sit in the stands. That's okay. It was a nice shirt. You know, I felt like part of it. Part of the team, yeah. Well, the other thing was that on the road, when we're like that, I always usually try to come up with a couple of notes for the broadcast. So at the broadcast, I left them notes about some of the players and coaches that we have come through the program. And one of the coaches that we have is a guy named Lance Loya. Lance is a great author and speaker about sportsmanship. He won the NCAA Sportsmanship Trophy for Division II coaches twice. I said, well, okay, so I'll mention Lance and maybe get some action for his book and everything. Well, wouldn't you know that I give this glowing write-up about Lance to the broadcasters, and in that game, our coach gets kicked out because of, you know, getting a little chippy with the officials. Whether it was deserved or not, I will leave that to the basketball gods. Anyhow, so I mentioned that because I thought I had it all covered. If I would not have mentioned the Lance Loya connection, I am almost sure that Dennis would not have gotten tossed. That's the way it works in sports. Is anybody out there superstitious in sports? Anybody? When you go on a baseball field, do you step over the line instead of on it? Yeah? Okay. Well, anyhow, I also, because Dennis got kicked out, they needed another person on the bench. I wound up on the bench in the next game, and the lesson there is that, number one, you do not brag about your sportsmanship. Number two, you do not give out coaches' shirts, or else the person that gets it will wind up coaching. So I wound up on the bench. I didn't give any wise words to the team. We lost by 15. That's the way it goes. Anyhow, it's been an interesting year. Let's get on with Dapper Dan, dinner number 73. And to kick us off with our first batch of awards, Adam Stern. Adam?
Before we get started tonight, I just want to recognize the reason that we're here tonight is the athletes, student athletes that are behind us, and a future Olympic swimmer to my left, as we know that in 2024, sorry, don't mean to put big shoulders on you. Some of them that have gold medals behind you, and they might want to share them what's going to look like around your neck, because I have faith in him. He's going to be there. Great job with Daniel being here tonight, and then the two miracles to my right. One who has battled his entire life, and the other that went through tragedy, and are both here today. And it's special. It's a special night, and I do please that I ask that you stay till the end of it, because the speeches that they give at the end, it's worth it. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. Thank you, parents, for being here, because you're here, and your kids behind me appreciate everything that you do for them. First of all, on our recognition tonight, we do recognize our Little Leaguers in Carmel as we recognize the 10 to 12-year-old Major Division Tigers as the 2021 Dapper Dan Little League Playoff Champions. The players were Max Haynes, Landon Davis, Liam Buck, Trevin Cox, Michael Caparelli, Trenton Lapp, Gage Friend, Dylan Flaskamp, Luke Joseph, Nicholas Baselli, Landon Wilson, Peyton Crippen, coaches Xavier Michael, Brandon Reed, Gus Caparelli, and Tyler Wilhelm, and the manager, Brad Reed, your 2021 Dapper Dan Little League Major Division champions. The next group would be the minor divisions for the 2021 playoff season. The Blue Jays, the players are Liam Riggin, Easton Dom, Nolan Pillai, Caden Hall, Wyatt Twig, Max Ferdiska, Weston Twig, Luca Jacobino, Grayson Long, Liam Harper, Logan Felton, Ashton Day, Blake Davis, coaches Fred Bardick, Gary Long, Ron Pillai, Corey Twig, Chad Jacobino, and the manager, Sean Ferdiska. Congratulations, guys. Our first award tonight goes to a superior athlete selected as the best volleyball player as voted upon by the area coaches. Brooklyn Noel from Fort Hill High School left no doubt in her opponent's eyes, dominating the net with her leaping ability. She would finish the season leading the area with 278 kills and 38 blocks. The senior mid-hitter would help the Lady Sentinels to an 11-4 record and a trip to the Western Regional Championship game. She would finish her career with a total of 823 kills. Brooklyn is just as impressive in the classroom with a 4.7 GPA and plans to attend Duke University to pursue a degree in biology. I'm proud to present and to bring to the podium the first award winner, the Sports Shop Award for the 2021 Volleyball Player of the Year to Brooklyn Noel.
Good evening, everyone. It's been an amazing 4 years playing volleyball. It truly has changed my life. I started playing in the 8th grade. I've had so many awesome experiences, but I wouldn't be here today without the amazing people behind me. I'd like to thank my coaches. Coach Fisher, she's always been a driving force behind my success. Of course, my parents, my family, my grandparents, my friends, teachers, anyone who's ever come to a Fort Hill volleyball game. You guys make it worth it, and I couldn't be here without you guys today. Thank you to the Sports Shop for sponsoring this award, and just thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you.
The next award belongs to Mountain Ridge High School's seniors Joey Oyer and Jacob Ritchie. The doubles paired together for an undefeated season and a trip to the state tournament held in Columbia, Maryland last June. The championship match was set for a head-to-head match with Patterson Mills High School. Jacob and Joey would take the first set 6-3 and then give up the second 2-6, leaving them with a tiebreaker to decide the title. With their minds set only on first place, the duo would prevail with a 10-8 winning tiebreaker set and capturing the gold medals. Today we recognize Joey Oyer and Jacob Ritchie as the 2021 Maryland Class 1A Doubles Tennis State Champions. Congratulations. Joey and Jacob couldn't make it tonight, and so I accept their award on their behalf. The next award goes to Mountain Ridge High School, where they would send a relay team to the States in hopes of gold medals, and senior Joey Oyer, junior Will Stark, sophomore Casey Kohler, and junior Reese Howard wouldn't disappoint. The 4x800 relay team would set its own best mark by finishing in just over 8 minutes and 31 seconds, defeating the teams of Northern Garrett, Bohemian Manor, Snow Hill, and Dunbar High Schools. The team would take gold in just under 2 seconds and be rewarded the top spot on the podium. For their accomplishment, we'd like to recognize Joey, Will, Casey, and Reese as the 2021 Maryland Class 1A 4x800 relay track state champions.
Good evening, everybody. Sadly, Joey Oyer couldn't be here with us today, but on behalf of the team, I'd like to thank everyone for the opportunity to be recognized here today. We'd like to thank our parents and coaches for always sitting through our long track meets and always supporting us. I don't know how many of you have ever been to a track meet, but our parents go to watch us run anywhere from maybe 5 to 20 minutes, and they last about 6 hours. So we're just so thankful for our parents for always being there for us. At the start of last season, we had no idea we would have made it this far. Usually a team comes in and they kind of have an idea where they're going to be ranked, but at the beginning of last season, we didn't even know who was going to be on the relay team. So it's just such an honor that we could make it to this point. I couldn't ask for a better young group of men to be with. These are the best guys I could have ever ran with, and I'm so thankful that I get one more chance this year to run with them. I couldn't have honestly picked a better group of guys to be with. So I'd like to thank everyone again.
For the second time already today, we will bring back Noel to the podium to acknowledge that indeed this student athlete is a gifted and more than just one sport. Whether it's volleyball, basketball, or track, she has a gift to jump high. The senior from Fort Hill High School competed in the state track and field competition last June in Landover, Maryland, and cleared a height of 5'2". Her jump would launch her to the top of the list and clear the next opponent by 4 inches, and becoming the girls' high school high jump champ. At this time, I do want to apologize in the program as an error, as she is listed as the 4x800 high jump champion. And it is my mistake, so I'd like to call that out. I don't believe that that is an event, and if it is, she would still get first place. So again, tonight we'd like to recognize Brooklyn Noel as the one and only 2021 Maryland Class 1A Girls Track and Field High Jump State Champion.
Hi again. Once again, just thanking Coach Alkire. He's definitely been a huge supporter of me these past 4 years. Track is also just an amazing thing for me. It's always kind of been my thing. I love it. It's an indescribable feeling, really. I'd again like to thank my family, more specifically my parents, my dad, who drives everywhere and is always here for me. Thank you again if you've ever been to a track meet. I know they're long, but the support means a lot. I definitely wouldn't be here without the people behind me. So again, thank you all for being here, and thank you.
The next award recognizes a dominant student athlete for her accomplishments in 2 events at the 2021 state track and field meet. Ryan Bennett from Fort Hill High School returned to Landover to defend her discus throw from the previous year and her gold medal. She would return to send the officials sprinting back to mark her throw of 137 feet 7 inches and defeat the next opponent by more than 40 feet, and just missing the Class 1A record by only 6 inches. She did all that in one day when it's a typical 2-day event. But Ryan wasn't done. She decided that she'd like to have another piece of gold, so she would go out and throw the shot put for a distance of 36 feet 3.5 inches, defeating the same opponent by more than 2 feet, capturing her first title in that event. Today we recognize Ryan Bennett as the 2021 Maryland Class 1A Discus and Shot Put State Champion. Congratulations, Ryan. Ryan could not be here tonight as she is currently competing at James Madison University and accepting the award on her behalf. Two Western Maryland indoor track and field performers returned home in February wearing gold medals. The first belongs to Hannah Custer of Fort Hill High School. Hannah would compete at the indoor event held inside the Baltimore Armory and would clear 8'6" in the pole vault event, earning her top spot and defeating the next 2 opponents by 6 inches. What's more impressive that she did this only as a sophomore, defeating a junior and senior from Boonesboro and Brunswick high schools. Today we recognize Hannah Custer as the 2022 Maryland Class 1A Indoor Track Pole Vault State Champion. Congratulations, Hannah.
Hello. I would like to thank the indoor track coach, Chris Morgan, for coming along this journey with me and always being very supportive. I would also like to thank my coaches at Vault Works and Coach Sam Shipley at Shipley's Vault Lab. I would not be able to be here without them. They are fantastic coaches. And especially would like to thank my parents for doing whatever it takes to help me succeed and being super supportive along the way. I am very thankful for this opportunity and cannot wait to see where the next 2 years leads me. Thank you so much.
This is the last time that you'll see me tonight, so there are other presenters. Yes, thank you. The second gold medalist performer at the indoor track and field event is Mary Delaney from Mountain Ridge High School. This junior runner proved to be too much for the Washington County runners as she won the 800-meter race by more than 9 seconds. And she wasn't done there as well at the meet, as she would decide she wanted to get another gold medal and do so in the 1,600-meter race by defeating Boonesboro's Caroline Matthews by less than a half a second. Tonight we'd like to welcome to the podium Mary Delaney as the 2022 Maryland Class 1A Indoor Track 800 and 1,600 State Champion.
Good evening. Thank you for recognizing me today. Thank you to my coaches, Coach Baker, Coach Shaw, and Coach Sean, and to my family and friends for supporting me. Thank you again.
Yeah, track meets can be a little bit long, but I'll tell you, in Frostburg, when I was running, and that's hard to imagine, but we got hecklers tonight. Thank you. It got cold during the evening. You'd start at 6 o'clock, it'd be about 55, 60 degrees about this time of year, and then by the time you finished up about 11 o'clock, it was about 30 degrees, and Jerry Calhoun, who was the coach at Bell at the time, he wouldn't be even shaken at the time. So those who run track know that it is not the easiest thing to do, and it's not only the distances and the oomph that you have to put in it. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting our next batch of awards is my friend Sean Pradiska.
The Cumberland Times-News Girls Basketball Player of the Year is Frankfurt's Leah Smith. Haley was selected by 10 out of the 14 area coaches as Player of the Year. During the season, Haley averaged 19.9 points and 4.3 steals a game, both area best marks and was named Class AA First Team All-State. Frankfurt Falcons head coach Steve Wilson had this to say about her. I really believe she was the best player in the area. Haley had an overall package that a lot of players didn't. She can do a little bit of everything. Her defensive side is just as strong as her offensive side. For her accomplishments, the Dapper Dan Club wishes to congratulate Haley for being selected the Cumberland Times-News Girls Basketball Player of the Year.
Good evening. First, I'd like to start by thanking my family, especially my mom, who taught me what it is to love basketball. I'd also like to thank my coaches and teammates, especially the community and my school for their endless support and everything, because I couldn't be here without them. I'd like to thank the Times News for allowing this award, and thank you.
The Cumberland Times-News Boys Basketball Player of the Year is Southern's Isaac Uphold. After finishing as the area's leading scorer and rebounder, and the only player to average a double-double, Isaac was voted Player of the Year by 8 out of the 10 area coaches. During his senior season, he averaged 18.3 points, 10 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and shot 71.8% from the free throw line. His coach, Tom Mosley, had this to say about him. Isaac is one of the best players I've ever coached at Southern High School. He had no problem being in the key moments on the foul line. He wanted the ball late in the games. He's going to do whatever he can to win. For these accomplishments, we'd like to recognize and congratulate Isaac for being selected the Cumberland Times-News Boys Basketball Player of the Year.
Hello everyone. I just want to thank my coaches, my teammates, and my parents for always being there. I want to thank the sixth man. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
The 2021 Skip Cook Memorial High School Baseball Player of the Year is Northern's Jake Rush. During the season, Jake had a batting average of .459 with 4 doubles, 2 triples, and 3 home runs with 21 runs batted in. On the pitcher's mound, the left-hander compiled a 5-1 record with a 2.95 earned run average, striking out 56 and walking only 21 in 38 innings of work. In the outfield, Jake was able to get good jumps and had the speed to track down fly balls as most players had no chance of catching. His coach, Phil Card, labeled Jake as one of the best defensive outfielders he's ever coached. For these accomplishments, the Dapper Dan Club wishes to congratulate Jake Rush for being selected the 2021 Skip Cook Memorial High School Baseball Player of the Year.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to thank my parents and all my coaches, Coach Workman, Coach Carr, Coach Beachy, and OCC. Thank you for everything you guys did for me. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Boy, these are some quick speeches. The reason I bring that up is our next presenter is Jeremy Irons, and Jeremy thought that the program tonight was going to last a little longer than others. I think there's a bet going on. The only problem is he gets to talk now, so he could stretch this out as long as he wanted to win the bet, couldn't he? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend Jeremy Irons.
That's why I took the over. It's my privilege tonight to present the girls' soccer awards, starting with the two co-defensive players of the year. In 2021, Allegheny High School junior Leah Smith was instrumental in leading the Lady Campers to a 9-5-2 record in appearances in the West Region Finals. Along the way, she earned the 2021 Carmel Times-News Co-Defensive Player of the Year. Smith led a rebuilding camper defense that took a huge step forward this season, which included wins over number 2 Northern in the playoffs and a 1-1 tie with Class 1A state semifinalists in area number 1 Mountain Ridge. Her coach Adam Stern cited both her soccer knowledge and her physicality as keys for her success. She is a player that will run through the ball, regardless of how hard it's kicked to her. She wins the 50-50 balls in the air and is the catalyst to start the counterattack from the defensive third of the field. She went out and executed what we asked her to do each and every game. Leah is also a standout in the classroom with a 4.41 GPA and a member of National Honor Society. The Dapper Dan is proud to present the 2021 Carmel Times-News Girls Co-Defensive Player of the Year to Leah Smith.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you to anyone who voted me or supported me, especially Adam, my coach, and his whole family, actually, for taking me under their wing. And my coach, Nate, I'm actually a product of Nate. I've only been playing for 3 years, so he made it possible for me to be a nominee and be here tonight. Thank you.
Make sure I have that right. I got a typo on here. Yep, I've got it right. Sorry. I wrote down the wrong school.
He's
And now
stalling.
And now for our other co-defensive player of the year. This past season, Southern junior Maggie Nickel was the anchor of the Lady Ram defense. Lauded by her coach Larry Smith for her leadership and her ball handling skills. Per Smith, her knowledge of the game is one of the many things that make her such a fantastic player. She could read the field, and basically she could play anywhere on the back line. Those leadership skills help Nickel lead the Lady Rams to an appearance in the West Region semifinals. The Dapper Dan is proud to present the 2021 Carmel Times-News Co-Defensive Player of the Year to Maggie Nickel.
Good evening. I'd just like to thank all my coaches for helping me become the player that I am today. And also thank you to my parents and friends and family for always being there to support me in all my games. And most importantly, thank you to all my teammates I couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you.
This past season, Mountain Ridge's Bailey Lamberson was the leader of a stout Lady Miner defense that allowed only 16 goals in 16 games, and on the way earned her the Miriam Senzel Girls Goalkeeper of the Year award. In her first season as a goalkeeper, Lamberson led a rock-solid Miner defense that resulted in 10 total shutouts and an incredible run in the playoffs to the state semifinals. Overall, her efforts helped lead Mountain Ridge to a 13-3-1 overall record and a region title. The Dapper Dan is proud to present the 2021 Miriam Senzel Goalkeeper of the Year award to Mountain Ridge's Bailey Lamberson.
Good evening. I'd like to thank my coaches, Coach Todd, for always pushing me to do my best. Coach John, for always working with me every day at practice, making me hustle for balls and everything. I'd like to thank Coach Chip also for pushing me to do my best. I'd like to thank my parents and my grandma for always being at every game and always pushing me to work hard and be the player I am today. And I'd like to also thank the area coaches for giving me the chance to be able to be presented for this award. Thank you.
And now for our Offensive Player of the Year. In 2021, Mountain Ridge's sophomore, Sydney Snyder, made her presence known early and often and earned the 2021 Cumberland Times-News Offensive Player of the Year. Snyder led the region-winning Lady Miner attack that ended with a 13-3-1 record in a state semifinal appearance. Those efforts led her to score 20 of Mountain Ridge's 56 goals. She was also key in distributing the ball for the Lady Miners and accumulated 14 assists. A star in the classroom as well, Sydney maintains a 3.95 GPA and was the leading scorer for the Mountain Ridge girls basketball team as well. The Dapper Dan is proud to present the 2021 Cumberland Times-News Offensive Soccer Player of the Year award to Sydney Snyder.
Hi everyone. I would like to thank my coaches, my teammates, my family, and lastly the area for voting me, and especially to my dad for pushing me my hardest. Thank you.
I'd like to give a shout out to the multi-sport athletes that we have in the room this evening. We kicked it off with Brooklyn Noel, who excelled twice on the dais here this evening with speeches. Another person you're going to hear twice tonight is Mike Matthews. Mike is a former sports writer, but he's an all-around great guy, and if you go back to his high school days, he was a great soccer player and a great baseball player at Mount Savage High School. Please welcome Mike Matthews.
Good evening. In soccer-rich Western Maryland, perhaps no school has more of a tradition of producing exceptional offensive players than Bishop Walsh. No doubt there are other schools that are right up there too, but Bishop Walsh, from the boys' side and the girls' side, is certainly right up there for bragging rights. Names like Rowan and Knight and Zapp on the girls' side, and Stitcher and Maley and Vines and Perlazzo on the boys' side, and well, there's just too many. So I'll have to stop there and apologize, or I'd be here for an awful long time reading out a who's list of former BW standouts. And this year the name Ali Puerto is added to that list. If you went to a Bishop Walsh game looking for her and didn't have a program, all you had to do is find the ball, find the net, and you'd likely find her quickly. Because that's what she did. She found the ball and found the net, often and quickly. In only 15 games this year, she scored 48 goals, including a half a dozen against Rockwood. And those 48 goals came in spite of the fact of playing only half of some games because she was getting some rest with BW being well ahead on the scoreboard. She also played the last third of the season fighting off an ankle injury. No matter what the opposing team's defensive strategy, Puerto most often prevailed. With 48 goals, which is more than many teams score in a season, and 8 assists, she was a part of 56 goals, more than 2/3 of BW's total as a team. Coach Whitey Hoppert said that he saw the highlight of the year in a game at Northern. Puerto, as the ball came out to the top of the box, boxed out her defender, hit the ball up with her knee, spun to the right, and blistered the ball into the back of the net. She could score at will and was a great teammate. I don't know how you replace a kid like that next year, Hoppert said. She came to us as a 9th grader, did very well, and improved each year. She's a great teammate and was a tremendous leader as one of our captains. Puerto had 15 goals as a freshman and 23 goals in 15 games as a sophomore. Perhaps the only thing that had success in slowing her down was COVID, which ended everyone's seasons and limited Bishop Walsh's year that year to only 3 games. Still, she scored 8 goals in those 3 games. In her 4th season, she scored 94 goals and had 16 assists in only 45 games. On behalf of the Dapper Dan Club, I am pleased to present the Cumberland Times-News High School Girls Soccer Player of the Year Award to Ali Puerto of Bishop Walsh.
Hi everyone, thanks for being here. I want to thank God first for the opportunity to be here with us. And I want to thank the Cooper family, the Herrera family, Mark and Sonia that are not here in person, but they're always been there to support me. I want to thank everyone for putting this together for us. I want to thank my coaches, Coach Adam, Coach Nate, Coach Whitey, Dr. Kitty, and my teammates. I want to thank the BW family for bringing me here and giving me the opportunity to play with them. Thank you.
Being a coach in any sport can be a difficult chore for many reasons. But when you have a player like Calvary Christian's Isaac Scritchfield, your job becomes a lot easier for many reasons. That's because Scritchfield was, as the cliche goes, like having a coach on the field, anywhere on the field, because he first became an experienced defensive player, then became an experienced offensive player, and all the while being the leader of a team that soared to a 20-win season. To say that Scritchfield was a versatile player may perhaps be the understatement of all understatements. Offensively, he scored 42 goals and also assisted on 20 more, giving him 104 points in only 23 games for a whopping 4.52 points per game average. With 42 goals and 20 assists, he played a role in more than half of the 110 goals that Calvary scored. While his 42 goals were the most scored by any player in the area, his unselfishness and passing ability led to the 20 assists, which were the second highest total in the area. Seldom does a player finish among the top 2 or 3 in both of those categories. Over his career, he scored 107 goals and added 43 assists for 257 points, which is the second highest point total in school history. Isaac was the heart and soul of our team the last 2 years. He has been a leader on and off the field. As long as we had Isaac on the field, we were capable of winning the game. He could score on a volley in close or shoot a rocket into the net from 25 yards away, head coach Wes Reed said. Smart and speedy with a powerful leg and a leader among his teammates. As a freshman and a sophomore, he was second team all-conference. In 2020, he was team MVP, all-conference MVP, and most outstanding player in the Maryland Christian Schools tournament. This year, he was again the Mason-Dixon Christian Conference MVP and first team all-tournament, as well as first team all-area, and this year's player of the year. All that, and he's from Ellerslie, too. On behalf of the Dapper Dan Club, I'm pleased to present, as a resident of the town in which he resides and has helped put on the map, The Edward C. Ebby Finzel Boys Soccer Player of the Year Award to Isaac Scritchfield.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to the Dapper Dan, Shrine Club, and anyone else who helped put this banquet together and invited me here today. I'd like to take a moment to thank a few people that have had a big impact on my life, both on and off the field. First, I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity and ability to play soccer. Next, I'd like to thank my biggest supporters, my parents, Jen and Bill, for taking me to endless practices, games, and tournaments. My grandparents, Willie, Brenda, Tom, and Tess, for traveling hours to watch me play and for always supporting me. My siblings, Nakia, Corey, Allie, Sammy, Chloe, and Macy, for practicing with me for hours, whether it be 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. My girlfriend Avery for shooting with me until dark, for picking me up after I have a bad game, and for dropping everything to come to any and every game possible. My second parents, Karen and Justin, for changing work schedules and driving hours to make games. My best friends, Connor, Luke, Emmy, and Colby, for staying after games and practices to help me improve as a player. To all my teammates along the way, I appreciate every one of you for not only being amazing teammates, but for being like a family to me. To all my JCP coaches, my high school coaches, TJ, Royce, Wes, Travis, and my dad, Bill. Travel coaches, Canyon, Jake Kyle, Jake Hafer, John, Matt, and Sean, for spending countless hours to help me develop as a player and for always pushing me to be my best. Special thank you to all the local coaches who voted for this award. Without you, I would not be here today. Thank you, and God bless.
Let's continue with our soccer theme and with our next batch of awards. Here's Chuck Moran from the Dapper Dan Executive Board. Chuck.
I thought some people would clap when I came up. Hey!
They're waiting until you leave.
The 2021 Dr. Raul Flipa Boys Soccer Offensive Player of the Year is Mountain Ridge High School's Mason Reed. Mason averaged 2.94 points per game with 17 goals and 13 assists for 47 points in 16 games last season for the 14-2 Miners. Coach Tim Nightingale said that Mason is a great kid who just loves the game of soccer. He is always positive and maintains a great attitude no matter what challenges he faces. He has helped his team achieve a high success for the past 3 seasons at the varsity level. Mason has such a high level of soccer IQ and is like having another coach on the field. For these accomplishments, the Dapper Dan Club wishes to congratulate and recognize the 2021 Dr. Raul Flipa Boys Soccer Offensive Player of the Year, Mason Reed.
First, I'd like to thank everyone that made this night possible. I'd like to take another moment to thank Coach Nightingale, Coach Summers, Coach Green, Coach Ritchie, and my dad for coaching me over the last 4 years. They pushed me and my teammates to not only be the best on the field, but also great men off the field. Thanks to my family and Sailor for coming to support me at every game no matter what the weather was like. None of this would have been possible without my teammates, coaches, and family. Thank you for letting me be the recipient of this award.
The 2021 Joe Rome Boys Soccer Co-Defensive Player of the Year are Mountain Ridge's Ethan Ashenfelter and Allegheny's Blake Powell. Ethan allowed an area low 11 goals while recording 33 saves with 10 shutouts, which is tied for most in the area. Ethan recorded 7 shutouts in West Mac play, helping the Miners finish a perfect 8-0 in conference play. He is the first Mountain Ridge player to win Defensive Player of the Year since 2015. Said Coach Tim Nightingale of Ethan has been a mainstay in the goal since earning the spot his sophomore season. He commanded the defense in front of him and directed them to what they needed them to do. For these accomplishments, the Dapper Dan Club wishes to congratulate the 2021 Joe Rowan Boys Soccer Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Ethan Ashenfelter.
I would like to thank everyone for making this night happen. Next, I would like to thank all my coaches, Coach Nightingale, Coach Summers, Coach Reed, Coach Green, and Coach Ritchie, for pushing me and expecting my best every practice and game. I would like to thank all my teammates for all the memories and bonds we have created over the years. Lastly, I would like to thank the fans and my parents for always supporting us, no matter how cold it was. None of this would have been possible without you.
For Allegheny's Blake Powell, Blake won 95% of his challenges and led the Campers to their second region championship and a spot in the state semifinals for the second time in school history. His coach had this to say: Blake came back with a fire and desire to work like no other on the team. Blake's work ethic during practice, sessions, and games, along with his leadership on and off the field, earned him the spot of a full-time captain for the team his sophomore season. For these accomplishments, the Dapper Dan wishes to congratulate Blake Powell as the 2021 Co-Defensive Player of the Year Award. Blake cannot be with us and wrote in that he would like to thank all the area coaches, the Dapper Dan, the board members, and as well as Mr. Joe Rohn for this award. He also wants to thank Coach Leckleiter and Getz, his travel coaches, Coach Ellsworth and McCutcheon, and Coach Clayton. Lastly, he wants to thank his teammates for pushing him every day. Due to the commitment in Cincinnati, he could not be here tonight. He says, thank you very much. Thank you, Blake. The 2021 Dave Searles Boys Goalkeeper of the Year goes to Fort Hill's Jacob Titchnell. Jacob stopped 154 shots with a save percentage of 91%, both leading the area while yielding 15 goals, good for second least in the area. The Searles family wrote this once learning of Jacob winning: "We are honored to having Jacob win this award. We hope this pushes him with the skills and determination for a successful future." Coach Sackman said, "Without Jacob, we would have been lucky to win a game." For these accomplishments, the Dapper Dan Club wishes to congratulate the 2021 Dave Searles Boys Soccer Goalkeeper of the Year Award, Jacob Titchnell.
I would like to thank the Dapper Dan and area coaches for voting for me. I'd also like to thank my teammates and coaches for their belief in me all season. And most importantly, I'd like to thank my parents and grandparents for everything they've done for me over the years. Thank you.
This dinner is about celebrating those who have done well, our young people. With that in mind, we all live through our kids one way or another. When they do well, they go out and participate, whether it be academically, athletically, you name it. We have a really great area for that. And at the same time, I want to mention that no one has been to the highest highs or the lowest lows than our next presenter. Please welcome Dapper Dan Executive Board Member Craig Bridges. Craig?
Hi, everybody. I'm here to present the award for the 2021 Area Softball Player of the Year. It's a memorial of my daughter, Avery Bridges. I want to thank everybody for inviting me here to present this award, and the Dapper Dan. They approached me here probably 6 years ago to name this award after Avery, and it was pretty humbling, and I thank them for that. The 2021 award winner is Kira Pittman. She can't be here tonight. She plays for the University of Maryland softball team. They're up in Michigan State this weekend, and she's playing Sparty. I talked to her. She's a second-time award winner. She'd like to thank everybody for voting for her and thank everybody for thinking of her. As for Kira, like I said, she's the second-time award winner. If anybody who's been around girls softball the past 5 or 6 years locally, they'll know how dominant Kira was. Dominant. She pitched the Allegheny High School softball team into the state championship last spring, and they fell. It was a pretty close game, but Kira had a really, really good game. Can't say enough about the kid. I know her personally, known her since she's been little. She played in the Mountain Thunder travel ball organization like my daughter did. She's a hard worker, good student. She deserves everything that she's gotten. She's earned it. So, like I said, she can't be here. I'm going to accept it in her name, and thank you.
Our next award is named after Jack Gilmore. Jack was a friend of many of us. Coming down this evening, I was thinking about two guys that would be presenting this evening. One was Mark Mangus, the other was Matt Gilmore, who is next. And I said, you know, I wonder if in the evenings when there may be the voice of God visit you in one way or the other, if it has a voice. And I would imagine that in the person of Mangus, he would hear from his dad and Charlie Latimer. And in the person of Matt Gilmore, you'd probably hear from Jack. He can tell us if that is true or not, or if he's ever heard it before or considered it before. Please welcome a good friend of mine, Matt Gilmore. Matt.
Good evening. Thank you, Paul. To answer your question, yes, I hear his voice all the time, but it's mainly in my nightmares. So.
On the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. It's my honor to present the John B. Jack Gilmore Memorial Award to the Lineman of the Year, Carter Hess of Fort Hill High School. Before getting to the presentation of this award, I'd like to congratulate all of the award recipients and honorees here this evening. All of your honors are well earned, and each and every one of you have brought pride and recognition to our community. And on behalf of my family, I'd also like to thank both the Dapper Dan and the Cumberland Times News for their support and assistance in presenting this award for the 6th time. If you ever watched Fort Hill football this year, you are not surprised that Carter Hess is the Lineman of the Year. This sophomore, and yeah, you heard that correct, sophomore, anchored the Sentinel line on both offense and defense. Carter is everything that a coach could ask for in a lineman. He's a road grader on the offensive line, takes on double teams, he's smart, he's strong, he doesn't complain, he plays to the echo of the whistle, and then he lines up and does it over and over and over again. When I talked to Coach Alkire about Carter, he told me, Carter's not a rah-rah kind of guy. He leads by example in school, in the weight room, and on the field. On offense, whenever Fort Hill needed a tough couple yards, they ran behind Carter. The Fort Hill fans knew they were going to do it, the players, the coaches, and the other team. And the other team, even they knew it was coming, they couldn't do anything about it. He's a guy who played right tackle, and he punished the guys he was playing against. He was also a leader on the Sentinel defense, where he anchored down the interior line position. Coach Alkire told me Carter's job was to take on blocks so the speed guys could make plays, get double teamed every play. That's not a glamorous effort. It didn't matter. He was so big and he was so strong, he split double teams and made those plays on his own. On both offense and defense, Carter was a key cog on the Sentinel team that went 14-0 and won yet another state championship. This is the first time the Lineman of the Year award is being given to an underclassman. And as I said to Coach Alkire yesterday, I said, this is the first time I'm going to give this award to Carter Hess. But I have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to be the last time I give Carter this award. It is my great honor to introduce this year's recipient of the John B. Jack Gilmore Memorial Award, Fort Hill's Carter Hess.
I'd like to say I'm grateful for this award, and thank you to the Dapper Dan and the Times News. Also, thank you to Coach Main and Coach Lewis for helping me out every practice. I wouldn't be here without them. And thank you to the football team, especially TJ Lee and Ray Wharton, for being amazing players since Patriots.
This is not looking good for Jeremy Irons in his bet right now. Jeremy's back here going, stretch, stretch. Anyhow, our next presenter is going to answer the other end of the question I put a couple minutes ago. Does he hear the voice of his father and Charlie Latimer in his dreams? And does he sound like an authority, like as in God? Please welcome one of the great athletes of all time in any town, anywhere, Mark Mangus.
I hear a lot of voices. Good afternoon. It is great to be back having this award celebration again. And congratulations to all of today's award winners and recognition receivers. Congratulations. And we do this today in memory of Dick Stern, who was an integral part of this event for 20 years, being the Dapper Dan dinner chairman, and being a part of the Dapper Dan organization for 50 years. Dick will always be missed and remembered. Godspeed. This is a recognition award to the Fort Hill High School's football team. This past fall, they won their 8th state championship, which comprises 3 different classes, 3A, 2A, and now 6 in 1A. Fort Hill had an undefeated season, so one would think this past season was a cakewalk. It was anything but. They faced obstacles and adversity throughout, starting with the 4th game of the year against Hollidaysburg. After the 3rd game at Southern, it was discovered that a Southern lineman had tested positive for the COVID virus. So because of contact tracing requirements, when Fort Hill went to play Hollidaysburg, a strong team from Pennsylvania, a 5A classification team, they did so minus many key players for the game from both the offensive and defensive lines. Fort Hill won 35-33, a tremendous win considering the circumstances. So the season progressed. And then, 2 days before homecoming, against Allegheny, tragedy occurred. The death of Saquon Jenkins, a beloved fellow player and classmate, which happened at the end of the school day right off school grounds. The young guy will always be remembered. Long live Quan. After the tragedy, it went to the players that they wanted to play the homecoming game. They decided they would play in Quan's memory, and play they did. After winning homecoming 42-6, they entered the 1A state playoffs as the top seed. And here's what followed. 40-14 over Northern Garrett, 54-0 over Joppatown, 43-14 over Edmondson Westside from Baltimore, and in the state championship game, 51-31 over Mountain Ridge. This recognition award goes to the MPSSAA Class 1A football state champions, the Fort Hill Sentinels.
So, little Mark Mangus trivia. Mark's first touchdown pass at Fort Hill and at Maryland were both to my dad, so that's kind of cool. Paul, you said that your first time here was 2. Little boy Ellis here, his first time, he's almost 2. So if you hear him yelling and screaming, he's obviously cheering for these guys, and he really likes Mickey. But hopefully one day he's up here sitting, because it's truly an honor to be up here. So you guys might not understand that now. Maybe you do, hopefully you do. But here soon you'll realize how much of an honor it is to be set up here on this stage. This season, you always talk about two different seasons, the regular season and the postseason. And this year, it was 2 seasons, like Mark mentioned. It was, I guess, weeks 1 through 8, and then after Quan, where we had a good season up until homecoming. After the tragedy that happened with Quan, there was a renewed sense of focus, and those guys really pulled through. They had a tremendous postseason and accomplishing their goal of winning a state championship. And they did so in Quan's honor. So I'm really proud that you guys were able to be able to do that for yourselves and for him. I can't stand up here without thanking all the players and their parents for getting the guys to where they need to go. Honoring Mountain Ridge on a great season. It really was a banner season here in Allegheny County, with Allegheny and Mountain Ridge both being great teams, and Mountain Ridge gave us 2 great games this year. And then also the coaching staff. Those guys do a great job. They allow me to basically do this thing, come up here and talk to Mark after games. The coaching staff does a lot of the coaching throughout the year, and they do a great job. So again, appreciate everyone for coming. Congratulations to all the award winners. Congratulations to the state champions this year, and go Big Red.
In addition to congratulating everyone that's award winners today, being honored, let's extend congratulations to the athletes of all the teams, both boys and girls, and to the coaching staffs for their leadership and guidance that they have shared throughout this pandemic of the last 2 years. And let's not forget the parents and the grandparents and the family members who, when trying to follow and support their kids, have had their schedules upended, sometimes on a moment's notice. At times in the past 2 years, the edicts that were handed down came fast and furious, and all involved need to be congratulated for a job well done. Thank you all. This next award's for the Pepsi-Cola Football Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Lee from Fort Hill High School. T.J. had some outstanding stats: 103 tackles, 33 of which were solo, 20 tackles for loss, and 12 sacks. Fort Hill's team had 40 sacks, so TJ's 12 accounted for 30% of the team. But what was his trademark was how disruptive he was. He would use his speed and instincts to continually make plays all over the field. Coach Zach Alcar, quote, "A lot of times in practice we're trying to call plays to beat TJ, and we never could. He figured out he's that good. If you need to go to battle, that's the guy you want to go with. All of his success is well earned," unquote. TJ also made a team-high 18 tackles on special teams as a gunner. A gunner is the guy responsible for being one of the first downfield covering kicks. He made big play after big play, game after game. And for that, the area coaches voted him to be the Pepsi-Cola Football Defensive Player of the Year for Fort Hill High School, T.J. Lee.
First, I would start the speech by saying I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank all my coaches, all my brothers. I want to say thank you to my mom, and I want to say thank you to the person that gave me this reward. Thank you.
Paul, these guys are quick. My gosh. Next is the Morton W. Peskin Senior Memorial Award for football to the Offensive Player of the Year, which goes to Bryce Snyder from Mountain Ridge High School. Bryce had a record-setting year this past year as a senior. He completed 157 of 260 passes, which is a completion rate of 60.4%. He threw for 2,367 yards, which is an Allegheny County record, breaking the previous record set 17 years earlier. He had 29 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, and those 29 touchdowns tied the mark set in 1996. Now, most of us can remember 1996, but all these young guys weren't even born yet. Rushing the football, he had 521 yards and 12 TDs. And that was when he was at his most dangerous, either on designated runs or when he would go back to pass, tuck the ball, and start upfield. Because when Bryce ran the ball, he ran with a purpose. At 6'2" and 205 pounds, he was aggressive and would not shy away from tackles. He would take them on. He was tough to bring down. Bryce is a leader. Coach Ryan Patterson, quote, "You can just tell that Bryce has all the qualities that the true leaders do. It was by example, not by what he said, but by what he was doing. A well-deserved, very hardworking kid that has been a pleasure to coach over the past 4 years," unquote. The three best teams in the state in Class 1A were right here, local, in this county, by ranking, Fort Hill, Mountain Ridge, and Allegheny. The power of the state was here, and it was a pleasure to watch, week in and week out. Bryce led the area in completions, passing yards, passing TDs, total TDs, and was 5th in rushing TDs. I think you will continue your football career at Frostburg State. Is that? Yes, very good. He will be across town up in Frostburg at Frostburg State. We wish him the best. Voted by area coaches as the Morton W. Peskin Senior Memorial Award for football, the Offensive Player of the Year from Mountain Ridge High School, Bryce Snyder.
First off, I'd like to thank my parents for everything they've done for me over the past 18 years. I'd like to thank my coaches and all my teammates for being there for me every day through the season. And lastly, I'd like to thank Mark for presenting the award to me and all the area coaches for voting for me. Thank you.
Paul just said this is cardio. This is my workout for the day. That's all I need. Okay. So last summer I was going through town, and at the corner of Williams and Park Street are all these kids waving signs. Here was the Fort Hill football team holding a car wash in the AutoZone parking lot. So I took them up on it because they get to wash it, not me. And while standing there with Coach Alcar, I noticed a tall, muscular guy helping wash my car. So I asked Zach who it was, and he told me it was Blake White. So I immediately told my radio comrades at WTBO to keep an eye on Blake because a big year could be coming from him and about ready to happen. Now, I'm not right all the time, as my wife will certainly attest to, but this time I was spot on. His statistics: 132 carries for 1,353 yards, a 10.3 yards per carry. 21 rushing TDs. Caught 4 passes for 97 yards and 1 TD, and had 111 yards in the return game. Fort Hill's speed made opposing defenses wary of covering the corners of the defense. And you wondered how long it would be before the Fort Hill staple, the fullback trap, would become effective. And with Blake, you didn't wait long. He was also a force on defense with 103 total tackles, 56 solo, 17 tackles for loss, an interception, and a sack. He played everywhere on defense, from the defensive line by necessity at that Hollidaysburg game mentioned earlier, to the linebacker, safety, and nickel corner. He played everywhere. The state championship game versus Mountain Ridge, 133 yardage on 12 carries, 11.1 yard per carry with 3 TDs. He also made 6 tackles, and Fort Hill won 51-31. Coach Zach Alcar, quote, "Blake was a standout and leader both offensively and defensively. When we did our best, it was because he was out there. He was so flexible, unselfish, and moved around on whatever position was needed. Blake's mindset rubbed off on his teammates. He set the tone." Blake will continue his football career at Towson University. Yay, Towson. So he was voted by the area coaches as the Times News Football Player of the Year from Fort Hill High School, Blake White.
I want to start by thanking my family and my parents. They've been there for every step of the way, taking me to football camps, never missed a game. I want to thank Coach Alkire. He put a lot of faith in me to be the guy that led this team this year. I want to thank my teammates. I wouldn't have made it through half the summer workouts without you guys or any of Coach Alkire's bad days when he decided to make us do extra stuff. I want to thank my 7-on-7 coach, Tony Gonzalez, who trained me. He helped me a lot this summer to make sure I fixed everything I needed to make sure I was able to play at the next level. Coach Alkire said that he was going to get me to the next level to repay me for everything I did, and he did that, and I thank him a lot for that. Thank you.
We're getting to our highlights of the evening, or the afternoon as it may be, and one of the highlights is our guest speaker tonight. You will remember his exploits at Allegheny College of Maryland on the basketball court and also at Liberty University. I can tell you at Garrett, we never wanted him to have the ball at the end of the game. Right? He knows how to win, and he will impart some of those words of wisdom to you. Please welcome Casey Roberts.
Well, first and foremost, I must say that I'm impressed with all the young athletes this evening. The first thing and the last thing out of each and every one of their mouths was gratitude towards their coaches and to their parents. So that's encouraging. As I have a 2-year-old at home, I hope that he emulates that type of gratitude that was displayed tonight. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank the Dapper Dan organization for hosting this event. Year in and year out, you do a tremendous job in honoring local athletes, and I think that speaks volumes to the spirit of our small town local community. Oftentimes I think of my career and how I took for granted the community that I came from. It was not until I fully experienced athletics outside of this area that I could truly appreciate where I come from. Here in Allegheny County, I think that we set the standard for honoring our athletes, appreciating athletics, and recognizing achievements. And that's what tonight is all about. The young athletes on stage have demonstrated a plethora of different skill sets and characteristics that have earned them honors. To receive the opportunity to be here, you have undoubtedly demonstrated strong work ethic, made sacrifices, honed in your skills. You've been given opportunities and you've seized those opportunities and taken full advantage of them. And so tonight we honor you and we appreciate you as a community, not just for your athletic achievements, but for who you are as a human being and the role that you play in our community, and we want you to know that that is important to all of us. I see Danny deal at the YMCA on a regular basis, in the pool and in the weight room, diligently working hard. You have a tremendous work ethic, and that shows from the many accomplishments that go far beyond the award that you will receive this evening. Molly and Bentley, the obstacles, trials, and tribulations that you have courageously overcome speak volumes about your character and who you are as a person. This is incredibly special and important because I think you both individually emulate who we strive to be as a community. And so when I say that this is truly a humbling experience to share the stage, not just with you three, but with every award winner we heard from tonight, I genuinely mean that. Humility is a character trait that was elusive to me for the majority of my career. If you ask my teammates, coaches, and probably even some of the referees, I think they would all nod in agreement. I always knew who to thank and I always knew what to say, but the spirit of humility was never present. I never could quite understand how someone could receive an award like you are all doing this evening and then say it was a humbling experience. If there was ever a time to have the spotlight shine upon you, point to yourself and be proud, should it not be while being honored? However, at some point when I was playing basketball in this podunk tiny little country of Latvia, located in Eastern Europe on the shore of the Baltic Sea, I finally realized all that was done for me on my behalf. You see, I had the easy job, and a lot of you athletes that are here today, we have the easy job. We get to practice a sport that we love, and we play hard, and that's the extent of our job. But I had the best teammates in the world, great coaches, and a family who took care of me. I never had to worry about a ride to practice, affording the team shoe, help with homework, going to bed on an empty stomach, and most importantly, I always knew I was loved for who I am and not just what I accomplished. And so tonight, for all of you young athletes, let this be a brief resting point and not the pinnacle of your career or of your life. Instead, let it be an opportunity to celebrate your remarkable achievement. However, I hope and pray that on this occasion and every future occasion, when you receive acknowledgement, that you will look back and be mindful of those who have helped you along the way. Perhaps the help that you received looks different than the help that I received, but I assure you that it is there nonetheless. And now, as an adult, as a husband and father, and as a former athlete who has been on the mountaintop of success and also has been deep in the valley of despair and spent countless hours reflecting on my experiences, I now finally understand how receiving an honor can be humbling. It is because such an occasion calls for you to always be mindful of those who helped. It is the recognition that you would not be where you are today without that help. I hope and pray as you move forward in your life and athletic careers that every possible chance you get, you recognize what has been given to you. It is all a gift. And I hope as a result that you will feel compelled and motivated to give to the next person. And when you feel as though you have given all you can give, continue to give more. Only when you give as freely as you have been given to will you realize your full potential. So for all of the young athletes, I leave you with this statement to ponder, and please hear it. This was a statement that was given to me many years ago, and it took me many years to figure out. I hope one day that it will impact you as it has me. Win as though you are not winning, and lose as though you are not losing. Thank you again to all in attendance and to the Dapper Dan organization for the honor and privilege of speaking here this evening, and congratulations to all the athletes and award winners.
Casey, I would say you got it. Good job. Thank you. And once again, thanks to the Dapper Dan, because they are an important cog in this. I'm going to go and brag them up a little bit, because guys like Dick Stern and Adam Stern and Jeremy Irons, Mark, I could go through all of them. They are here to allow the youngsters up here on stage to reflect on what they have achieved and to say thank you. And they all did basically the same speech tonight. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, teammate. Thanks, Coach. We need to hear that. We need to have our kids do that. And they have been doing it for 73 years. So let's hear it for the Dapper Dan. Thank you, Dapper Dan. One of the guys has been here as long as I have, James K. Cunningham, to present a very important award. Jim?
Thank you, Casey. That was quite an inspirational talk. I think when you look around the room tonight, whether you look back, players sitting back here, the kids up here, I think you see a great future in America. Don't you agree? The story tonight that I want to tell you about for the Joseph K. Mooney Award is a story of a young lady named Molly Osteen. Many of you probably remember her. She was a great athlete at Mountain Ridge High School. She set about every record there was in running. State championships, you name it. But on March the 6th of 2017, Molly took a new journey in life because she was struck by a vehicle while she was running at Elon University. The vehicle was traveling at 55 miles an hour. When the paramedics arrived, they said she was just barely clinging to life. Well, she was breathing, but she was unresponsive. At the hospital, they had to race to treat her, not only for her brain injuries and brain trauma, but she had internal injury damage. She had fractures in her spine, and she had a shattered pelvis. Molly's story is more than just a recovering person, because her story involves her family, her sister, Maddie, and her mother, and all those that her loved ones. You see, when she was injured, her mother actually got a call. And the only way she could identify who she was on the phone after the accident was because she was told that she had red, white, and blue Brooks running shoes, 6.5 size. Her sister Maddie was at Princeton University, and where she was a runner, and she was notified too of the accident. What a traumatic thing to happen to a young lady like that. Maddie said the first time that she went to the hospital to see her, she said not only was she covered in abrasions and her head was shaved because of emergency brain surgery. Molly is now 23 years old, and she's sitting here. You know, for the longest time, she couldn't walk. She really couldn't even talk. She had a very hard time in life, and she does now. But she has progressed, and she has done it through perseverance, and she has a love of life. But her love of life also is from her family as well. Molly is an inspiration and should be an inspiration to all of you here tonight. And on behalf of the Dapper Dan Club of Allegheny County, it gives me great pleasure to present the Most Courageous Award to Molly Osteen.
Thank you. I honestly don't really know what to say, but thanks. So, I was a college runner at Elon University, and I went for a run, and supposedly the driver was blinded by the sun and didn't see me, but then he hit me, but then I was luckily life-flighted to UNC Chapel Hill, where they saved my life, and honestly, I'm very thankful, because I've also learned a lot of things from this experience. The importance of love, hard work, and willpower. So, thank you.
We just wanted to thank you from our family for all the love and support that you've given us through this journey. I mean, 6 years ago, Molly was up here getting an award for a state championship, and I don't know if someone had told me that night what the next 5 years were going to look like, if I would have had the same courage that my daughter has shown me in relearning how to walk and talk and just enjoy life and inspire others. So being from a small community, I just want to thank you for all the love and support you've given us. It's meant the world, and it really has helped. So thank you.
That is super.
Now you know why we're here, and you know why we've done it for 73 years. It's an amazing story. Next time you have a bad day, just think of Molly. But also, the benefactor of the dinner and has been all these years. For years, it was the League for Crippled Children. Now it's the Children's League. And tonight, it gives me great pleasure to present the proceeds from this dinner to the Children's League and to Kathy Grout, the Executive Director of that league.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I just want to thank the Dapper Dan. It's good to be back here again. It's good to be back here, and congratulations to all these wonderful athletes. I know so many people spoke about Dick Stern, and he's a great friend of mine, a great friend of the Children's League, and he is here tonight. So thank you all for supporting the Dapper Dan, for coming and supporting the athletes this evening, and for ultimately supporting the Children's League. Some of you might remember years ago we were called the League for Crippled Children. We are now called the Children's League. We're actually an 88-year-old organization. We're a 501c3 nonprofit, and our mission is caring for and serving children. We actually serve children birth to 21 in 3 states, Maryland, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. All the services that we provide for all the children that we see is free. We provide orthopedic, cerebral palsy, cleft lip and cleft palate clinics, as well as free physical therapy and speech therapy. All of the services are at our location in Cumberland at the Health Department. We do offer speech therapy in Oakland, in Kaiser, and in Petersburg, West Virginia. So again, thank you very much for coming out, supporting the league, and being here tonight. Before I go on to the next award winner, I just can't say enough to you, Molly, and the inspiration that you are to everyone. I know through the years that you are being cared for, the Children's League and so many friends here followed you very closely through Facebook and comments and things that were posted. So you're an inspiration to everybody. Congratulations. You're welcome. The recipient of the 2021 Dapper Dan Child of the Year is Bentley Lepley. With him this evening is his grandmother, Sharon, sitting over here, his dad, Cody, and in fact, the Children's League Dapper Dan Child of the Year in 2006 was his dad, Cody. His good friend and league physical therapist, Jenny Vogt, and her husband, Brian, are here this evening as well. Jenny has worked with Bentley for many years, and yes, she does make him work very hard. Is that right? You better say that. But lots of good times. From Cache Valley School, we also have with us this evening his 4th grade teacher, Amy Eber, special education teacher, Eric Follett, 2nd grade teacher, Amy Rice, and also teacher Zach Steckman, and League Board of Directors sitting here in front, Jerry Robinette. It is my privilege to tell you just a little bit about this amazing young man. Bentley is 10 years old and in 4th grade at Cache Valley Elementary School. If you do not already know Bentley, trust me, you will be his friend once you have the opportunity to meet him. His teacher, Mrs. Eber, says this about him in this evening. I have had the pleasure of being Bentley's 4th grade teacher this year. Bentley is a very hard-working and respectful young man. He comes to school with a smile. Bentley has shown tremendous growth in his reading and math abilities over the course of 4th grade. Bentley is an advocate for the underdog and stands up for what is right. I am proud of him for his accomplishment tonight, although not surprised. Such wonderful words to hear from a 4th grade teacher. The Children's League is no stranger to the Lepley family. Bentley's grandmother, Sharon, and his father, Cody, were both League patients for many years. His father, knowing the effects of Charcot-Marie-Tooth syndrome, or CMT as it's called, that he and his mother, Sharon, have lived with, wanted his son to be evaluated in an orthopedic clinic at the Children's League. So at 2.5 years of age, Dr. John Tiss, a pediatric orthopedic surgeon from Johns Hopkins, saw Bentley for turning in of his feet and for an unusual gait. He recommended at that time that Bentley wear a foot ankle brace to give him support and stability. But because of the long family standing history of CMT, it was also recommended that he have genetic testing done to declare that the positivity of him having the same disorder. That genetic testing was completed in October 2015, and it was declared that, in fact, he does carry the inherited disorder the same as his dad and his grandmother. Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease is a group of inherited disorders that cause nerve damage, mostly in the arms and legs. CMT results in smaller, weaker muscles and can cause loss of sensation, muscle contractions, and difficulty walking. Foot deformities such as hammer toes and high arches are also common. Symptoms usually begin in the feet and legs, but may eventually affect the hands and arms. For these reasons, Bentley has been closely followed by the Children's League. He stays positive, he works very hard, and he does not allow CMT to define who he is. His special education teacher, Eric Follett, says this: "I have worked with Bentley for the past 4 years and am amazed at his progress in all areas. Bentley is a very enthusiastic young man. He is a great storyteller and is passionate about the outdoors. He enjoys swimming, soccer, bowling, and playing with his dad's new puppy. Bentley likes learning new things and pushes himself to be the best that he can be. Pushing himself to be the best that he can be is exactly what the Children's League has witnessed in Bentley. This also describes Bentley's participation in all sports through CASEL. CASEL stands for Children's Adaptive Sports League. CASEL is a nonprofit organization with the purpose of providing an adaptive sports and socialization program for special needs children age 4 to 21 in the tri-state area. And I want to thank the Dapper Dan Club tonight also for developing, organizing, and running this much-needed sports program for children with special needs. I would like for you to join me and physical therapist Jenny Vogt from the Children's League in welcoming the Children's League 2021 Dapper Dan Child of the Year, Bentley Lepley, to the podium to accept his award.
I appreciate everybody for coming out this evening, and I want to give a big shout out to my grandma, my dad, all my teachers, all my friends, and the people that were able to give me this award. Thank you.
Prior to the dinner, Casey was telling Bentley that he once bowled a 400 game. Now, you think Bentley fell for that? Well, Casey's up there talking, he leans over to me and goes, "You can only bowl a 300. So, Casey, I didn't rat you out. He figured it out on his own. And Molly, thanks for being an inspiration. We love you. All right? All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the top award tonight at the 73rd Dapper Dan Awards Banquet is my friend and colleague, Mike Matthews. Mike?
What has been a great evening, hearing of the accomplishments of these deserving award winners, as Casey said, and seeing and hearing the thankfulness and humility from each one. And now as we head to the final award, let's play for just 5 seconds or so a memory game. For the next few seconds, think back to what you were doing when you were 16 years old. Ready? Begin. Time's up. Some of our answers may be different, but I'll bet many were similar. Some of us may have been learning the duties of a first job at a fast food restaurant, or studying to get a learner's permit for a driver's license, or hoping to make the JV team at school. We're all pretty much in the same boat, except for at least one of us here. This 16-year-old has already broken national records, is ranked nationally in his sport, is a member of the U.S. Junior National Swim Team, and is the #1 recruit in the nation for the class of 2020. 24. Already, his name has been associated with several of the world's all-time best swimmers. For reference, short course meets are held in 25-yard length pools. Long course meets are held in 50-meter length pools. For the current swim season among 15 and 16-year-old boys in the state of Maryland, Daniel Deal is ranked #1 in the short course in the 50-yard freestyle, the 100-yard freestyle, the 200 freestyle, the 500 freestyle, the 1,000 freestyle, the 1650 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, the 200 backstroke, the 100 butterfly, the 200 butterfly, and the 200 individual medley. He is currently, for his career in the state of Maryland, among 15 and 16-year-old boys, ranked based on the best career time in an event, #1 in the short course in the 50-yard freestyle, the 100 freestyle, the 200 freestyle, the 500 freestyle, the 1650 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, the 200 backstroke, the 100 butterfly, the 200 butterfly, and the 200 individual medley. This is a workout. For the current season, among 15 and 16-year-old boys in the state of Maryland, he is ranked #1 in the long course in the 50-meter freestyle, the 100-meter freestyle, the 200 freestyle, the 100 backstroke, and the 100 butterfly. For his career in the same age group, based on best career times in an event, he is #1 in the long course in the 50-meter freestyle, 100 freestyle, 200 freestyle, 100 backstroke, 100 butterfly, and 200 individual medley. Are you blown away yet? But wait, there's more. I always wanted to say that. Earlier this year in Buffalo, Daniel won the long course 100-meter backstroke for 15 and 16-year-olds with a time of 53.59 seconds, breaking the previous record of Ryan Murphy. Who is Ryan Murphy? Murphy, who had set his time during the 2012 U.S. Olympic trials, went on to win 4 Olympic gold medals. He is also the current world record holder in the 100 backstroke at 51.85, set at the 2016 Summer Olympics. Daniel's time of 53.59 in the 100 backstroke is not only the best time in the world for a 15, 16-year-old, but the 19th fastest ever by an American of any age. At the beginning of April, it was the 5th fastest time in the world this year and the 3rd fastest time by an American. And oh, by the way, when Daniel was 15, he broke the Maryland record for 15 and 16-year-olds in the 100 backstroke long course in a meet at Richmond. You may have heard a little bit about the previous record holder, Michael Phelps, who won 23 Olympic gold medals. That was one of several state records previously held by Phelps that Daniel has broken. Now, what is it that we were doing when we were 15 and 16 years old? You probably would agree with me that the best is likely yet to come for Daniel and that we'll see him back here again in the future. You can read and watch more of his accomplishments by simply doing a Google search for Daniel Deal swimmer. It is quite remarkable. Daniel began swimming on the summer team at the Bel Air pool at age 6. A current sophomore at Allegheny High School, he is coached at the Cumberland YMCA by Mr. Brian Dowling. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to present this year's Top Dapper Dan Award, the George W. Stevenson Nicholas A. Palazzo Memorial Award for bringing the most national attention to Allegheny County to Daniel Deal.
I'd like to start by thanking everyone that came here and the Dapper Dan for all they do in the community. I didn't really know much about it until I got here, but after hearing like the money that they donate to groups and like what they do in the community, I think it's great. I'd like to thank my family for being here. I'd like to thank my coach Brian Dowling. He's with me at practice every single day. He tries to help me get better. I definitely wouldn't be here without him. I don't even know if I'd be swimming if it wasn't for him. So, thanks everyone for coming.
When I heard that the Dapper Dan was presenting an award to a swimmer, the top award, I said, that's the first time in 73 years. I didn't know you were the swimmer. Congratulations, Daniel. We'll be following your progress over the next several years. I can't wait until the next Olympics. He's going to be there, and we knew him first. Ladies and gentlemen, with our benediction, will it be Mark Mangus? Oh, you have a benediction. Say amen.
I also have one last presentation. Some of you may know Daniel was in Greensboro last night, and later in the summer he's going to be in Hawaii at a meet. So he's a globe trotter, getting to his all of his events. The Dapper Dan Club of Allegheny County would like to present this check to Daniel to help with the traveling expenses he incurs attending all his competitive meets. Daniel?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And for the benediction, Almighty God, thank you for once again providing us encouragement and hope for the future through those that we have recognized tonight. Now protect us and lead us safely home with the goal of living our lives in a way that is always pleasing in your sight. Amen.
At the end of a cartoon, the pig would come on and say, "That's all, folks." Thank you for attending. We hope to see you next year, and thank you very much.